An Iron Will. Lesson 2, Conscious Power and Self-Esteem. And let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I applied for a job teaching music to kids, and I found out that before I could even get an interview for this job, I had to give a music lesson to a panel of judges who were going to decide if I was capable of teaching these kids. At the time, I was singing in a jazz vocal group, and so I took some of the exercises and warm-ups we did every rehearsal, and I got the judges to stand up in a circle, and I made them each, one person would snap their fingers, another person would sing a different phrase, and I got them all kind of doing this improvised thing together. And I totally crushed it. Not only did I get the job, but they told me they were very impressed with my confidence and my bearing, and I got one of the highest ratings of anyone who had ever applied for this position. So I was pretty psyched, but let me ask you a question. How would you go into this situation if you were full of doubts and insecurities? Let's say you didn't know if you were, not only were you questioning whether you were capable of doing this lesson, but you didn't even know if you were worthy. Well, here's a question to really ask. What if you were full of doubts and insecurities and did it anyway? I'm asking this question because I want to tell you the truth about what really happened to me with that job interview. When I found out I had to give a lesson to the judges, I was terrified and I was crushed. I mean, just in my guts, it was just this sort of empty, deflated feeling. I was this close to calling them up and canceling the whole thing and saying, I can't do this. I'm not ready for it. I'm not capable. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. All these doubts were going into my head. Luckily, I thought about it a little bit and I realized, I really, really want this job. In fact, I need it. If I'm going to I'm maybe not good at it yet, but if I could have a chance to practice and actually get some experience doing this kind of work, I could get good at it. And the only way I was going to get this experience was by getting the job. So I thought, well, what if I went in there and pretended I was confident and knew what I was doing, and I acted like I really believed in it? And that's where I learned a great lesson that has stuck with me. If you don't believe in yourself yet, act as if you do. And here's the thing, self-confidence, it's not something that you're just born with. It's something you cultivate, and I'm going to tell you how in a second. You might want to get out a pen or pencil. This is really the most important secret. If you learn nothing else from this whole class, keep this in mind. Self-confidence is the result of the things you do, not the other way around. If you have something that you're not confident in, then you need courage in order to do it. Now, courage is simply doing something even though you're afraid to do it. You feel the fear and you do it anyway. And the way you get courage is by using your will. Now, this lesson is going to be all about self-confidence and self-esteem. The exercises will help you build your self-confidence, but really it comes from what you do and not the other way around. There's a great quote in chapter 2 of the book where Martin says, "Let it be your first study to teach the world that you are not wood and straw, that there is some iron in you." Now, it doesn't say develop your iron first. It says teach the world that there is some iron in you. Show them by your actions that you're not afraid, even if you are. The confidence will come later, but your will comes first. Now, I want you to just look at this pyramid. This is something he talks about, the I can'ts, I won'ts, and I wills, 3 kinds of people in the world. And I'm not going to dwell on this image of a pyramid. You all know the person on top is the winner, the ones on the bottom are getting crushed and all that. But here's what's significant about this pyramid. You can jump and change levels anytime you want simply by making a conscious decision to do so. As soon as you decide that you're going to be an I will, you're there. Now you might think, well, it's not always good to do this. You need to look before you leap. And if you don't, you're being rash. Now that's true, but in the Iron Will, Martin has a bone to pick with this idea of rashness. He says the one thing worse than rashness is inaction. And so I want to tell you, don't be afraid of your mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You will make mistakes. 90% of the time it's okay. It's something you can fix. Even when it's not, you learn from it. And so the action is what really gives you the ability to boost your self-confidence. Now there's this thing called conscious power where you choose to change levels on the pyramid. A conscious power, as it says in the book, exists within the mind of everyone. Sometimes its existence is unrealized, but it is there. To develop it is to individualize all that is best within you and give it to the world. It is by an absolute knowledge of yourself, the proper estimate of your own value. You have to choose to put out what's best of you in the world. And the only way you're going to do that is if sometimes you put out what you think might not be the best, but it's the best you can do at the moment. And again, as you take action, you learn more, you grow more. Not only do you build in confidence, but you also build in competence. And these things are closely tied together. And so you have to have absolute knowledge of yourself, which means you have to understand your fears and doubts and where they come from. And also you have to understand that you need to overcome them. Once you know what they are, you have to challenge them. Believe in yourself. Are not doubts the greatest of enemies? If you would succeed up to the limit of your possibilities, hold to the belief that you will be successful, no matter what opposes. Never allow a shadow of doubt to enter your mind. Expel it from your mind as you would expel a thief from your house. And this is really important. It's also an analogy. These feelings of self-doubt are like thieves. They're robbing you of all the good things you could be enjoying in your life, whether it's more love, more happiness, more financial success, more creative fulfillment, more fame. And these thieves, there's only one way to get rid of them. How do you chase out a thief? Generally with an alarm. You make a lot of noise, you turn on bright lights, and the thief runs away. And when you shine this light and this noise and this courage and this force against your negative doubts, you drive them out too. You expel them. And the way you do that is you call bullshit on them. If a doubt is telling you, oh, you can't do this, you're not worthy, prove it wrong. Just go ahead and do it anyway. Just let that negative thought yap away at you, but you're going to just take the action anyway. And that's how you expel those doubts. There's another trick, and I'll mention this in the exercises. There's a work by these two psychologists, Capps and Morwedge, in 2016. They basically proved that when you visualize yourself doing something successfully, your brain doesn't know the difference. It's as if you actually did it, and you can build self-confidence and also build skills by visualizing. We'll be teaching you how to do that in the exercises. But more than that, you have to believe you were made for the place you fill. So the situation you find yourself in, you're made for it. Even if you're not ready or you think you're not ready yet, you're going to make yourself ready. And you do that by taking action. Believe you were made for the place you fill. Put forth your whole energies. Be awake. Electrify yourself. Go forth to the task. Action is the key to expelling the thief. So anytime you have any kind of fear or doubts or worries, if you do something, take some action against them, you're going to feel better. That's the key to expelling doubts. This is a short lesson, but the upshot is basically self-confidence is a result of the things you do and not the other way around. You don't do things because you're confident. You get confident by doing stuff. And even if you think you can't do it, just do it anyway. I can't stress this enough. As you get more experience just pushing through your fears and doing what you want, you'll improve your life in so many ways. Remember that every self-doubt you have is a thief. You're being robbed. You need to expel them by proving that they're wrong. I'm going to leave you with one last quote from the book. He who would succeed today must not only be brave, but must also dare to take chances. Step bravely to the front, whatever opposes, and the world will make way for you.